Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to do classwork with the layer mask sampler. So you're going to first download the template. So you actually don't just like view this and get a JPEG or something. Actually click on this so you can download it. So I'm clicking on it and then it should download. I can see that it's downloaded. I clicked it twice. And then go ahead and hop on over to Photoshop and you're going to open it up. So let me just quickly. So I'm going to show you kind of what we are doing. Let me move my Photoshop over. Sorry about that. All right. So this is the file that I have given you. It's just a portrait and then a few different masks, because what other way to practice layer masks? Let's use masks. So hopefully you remember the term masks, layer masks. Okay. So what essentially we're going to be doing is we're going to cut out these different masks. And then we're going to stick them on our little model here. And then the very last one, it's super cheesy, but we're going to put a little animal with her. Okay, we're also going to, as you can see here, I was going through, these are called snapshots. So we're also going to learn how to use the history tab here, which is pretty useful. Oh, my computer is being pretty, there we go, laggy. So hopefully it doesn't take too long. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close this and start from scratch. No, I don't want to save this. Whoopsie. All right, I'm going to go ahead and open up that template that I downloaded. It should be there in your download folder. Oh, my computer is... All right, here we go. So when you get the template, you can see that there's a bunch of different layers here. So I'm going to go ahead and work on one layer at a time. I'm going to go from bottom to top. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off those other layers. All I did was click the eyeball on each of them and turn them off. And actually, before I get too far, I'm going to turn them back on. I'm going to go ahead and open up my window history. Window history right here. Window history. And you can see that there's a little snapshot, but I'm going to take another one. Why not? Just to show you how it works. So right here, this is the little camera. I can take a snapshot, and what that does is it's saving a point in time in my document that I can get back to. So some of you may have noticed I came over and I was like, oh, let me tweak this, but let me open your history and take a snapshot first. So that's what I was talking about, but we should all be on the same page with snapshot. One thing to note, these snapshots do not save with your document. So that document I closed that had a bunch of snapshots I was jumping around in, that's not going to be saved because I closed it. Okay, so I've taken my first snapshot and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to close this to get it out of the way so I don't have to look at it. And I'm going to turn these layers off and I'm just going to work one at a time. All right, here's my first one. So I'm going to cut this mask out. Okay, but instead of just hitting delete or copy paste, I'm going to use the layer mask. So I'm going to first resize it. Make it a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to use whatever tool you want to cut it out. I'm going to use Magic Wand. Okay. I don't want you to use this remove background or select subject. I want you to stick with Magic Wand or like quick selection, something like that, just so we can make sure that we're using the mask. Because the whole point of this is to learn how to use the mask. All right. So I'm using Magic Wand. I'm going to uncheck contiguous. My tolerance seems good. I'm going to click to select the white areas. And I don't actually want to select the white. I want to keep the mask. Okay, so normally I might just hit delete, but instead I'm going to use the layer mask. Okay, so if I click layer mask, oh no, it actually cut out my mask and left me with all the white portions. That's because with the Magic Wand, I had selected the white portion. So I'm going to hit Control-Z to undo. So I'm going to say undo. All right, and I still want to select the white parts because my Magic Wand is really good at that. But I'm going to say this time select inverse. And select inverse is going to say select everything that's not already selected. So I'm going to say select inverse. You can't really tell the difference, but at this point the mask is now selected. And I'm going to add a layer mask. The layer mask is the little rectangle with a circle in it. Okay, and you can see what that's done is, if I were able to see a little bit better in this preview, actually here, I'll make my mask bigger so you can see. Okay, let's see in the preview, you can see now that it's showing whatever is white and it's hiding whatever is black. Okay? So I actually don't want it resized so big, but I can now move this on. You can take your time, resize it. If you need to ever stretch anything, make sure you hold shift and then it will allow you to stretch it. So, you know, get that nicely lined up. Yay, we're happy. Okay? And then I'm going to take a snapshot. Window. I'm going to go to my history and I'm going to take a snapshot. Okay, and there we go. I have my snapshot. All right, I'm going to go back to my, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close the history again. I'm going to turn this layer off and then I'm going to do my next mask. So same thing, I'm going to use my magic wand. 1, 2, 3, 4, magic wand. I'm going to click the white portions. And if I hit my mask, it's cutting out the mask. I don't want that. So Control Z, I need to say select inverse. Okay, now I can hit the mask button. Hooray, it's cut it out nicely. I can Control T, make this bigger. Okay, if I need to stretch it at all, I can. So that fits nicely. I'm happy with it. And I'm going to hit enter. Okay, now one thing, when you use the layer mask with the magic wand, it's pretty notorious for like leaving this little line here. It's like has trouble selecting that pixel on the very edge. So I can manually get rid of it. I'm going to take my black paintbrush. So my paintbrush B, I like to use a soft one with low opacity. And I'm going to click on my mask and I can just around this edge. Sorry, I'm not going to make my opacity too low. I can go ahead and touch up that little line. Let's say I liked this mask, but I don't want the tassels. I can get rid of those. So I'm going to mask away the tassels. So actually, yeah, let's go ahead and we'll do that for yours. Just some good practice. So I like the mask, but I don't like the tassels. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of them. Let's say you accidentally, oh no, I got rid of too much of the mask. That's okay. You can use the white brush to put it back. So I'm on the mask and I can put it back with the white and I can take it away with the black. Okay, so the masking is super helpful. It's like an eraser, but way more upgraded because nothing is ever permanently gone. So I'm going to go back to the history. I'm going to take a snapshot. There we go. So you can see there was my first mask. Now I have my second mask. Make sure you remove the tassels, okay? Now I'm going to go on to my third mask. I'm going to close this history. Let's see the third one. Oh, I have to zoom out. Magic wand. Select my white. Oopsies. It's not selecting anything. It's because I'm on the wrong layer. Control D. So make sure you're on the correct layer. I'm going to use my magic wand to select the white portions. Then I say select inverse to actually select what I want. I'm going to mask it with this little layer mask button. I'm going to Control T it. Move it into the right spot. If you need to hold shift in order to stretch it or reposition it, you can. Okay, and I'm happy. I'm going to go ahead and touch up just that little edge with my brush. Okay, and I'm still on my mask. And you know what? Oh, maybe this piece, I don't like how that's sticking out, so maybe I'll just go ahead and erase that. You can use a hard brush as well. Oh, I got rid of too much of that, so I want to bring that back with my white. Zoom in. And again, guys, this is not like a final artwork. This is just layer mask practice. All right, I've got my third snapshot. Take a snapshot. And now I'm going to do my last one, the cat. All right, this one's going to be a little bit trickier. We're getting a little bit harder as we go along. So I'm going to first use my magic wand. I'm going to select, I'm going to turn up my tolerance a little bit so I can select more. Maybe 35. And oh no, I can already see it's going to select the cat eyes. I don't want that. So I'm going to Control D. I'm going to say contiguous. I'm going to make sure it's adding to my selection each time. So I'm going to select this portion and then it didn't get that. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. And then we're going to learn how to use this select and mask later to refine our edges. For now, we're just going to hit a mask on here. Oop, wrong thing. Control Z. I need to Select inverse. And now I can put my mask on. There we go. All right, I'm not gonna worry too much about this edge. There's other ways that we can touch that up that we're gonna learn later. For now, we're just playing with the mask. All right, so for this one, we're gonna go ahead and put the cat on here. And then we're going to, you know, this is pretty abrupt, right? So we're gonna use our brush on our mask and we're gonna fade this. So we're gonna use B brush, make sure you're using the black brush, soft brush, low opacity. I'm gonna use my brackets to make it larger. And then I'm gonna slowly kind of like fade this and maybe just do a portion of the cat. Okay. Take your time. You can get this lined up. All right. And then this one, I'm going to get rid of maybe this mouth. So again, make sure you're on the mask. And maybe I want to erase like this portion. And oop, I need to move my nose down for my cat. And I'm happy. She does look like she has some whiskers down here though, so let me touch that up for her. Maybe I'll fade this a little bit so it blends into her hair. Hooray. And then I need to get rid of the top portion of her head. So I'm gonna use a mask on her. Let me finish up with this, this weird edge here. Let me get rid of that edge because I told you the magic wand sometimes leaves that little edge. It like can't select that last pixel. Oh, I got rid of too much of the ear. Let me bring it back with the white. All right, so now I'm gonna go to her and I'm gonna get rid of her. I'm gonna mask her head out. So I'm gonna add a mask for her and then I'm gonna get rid of, with black, her hair. And then how are we gonna fill that white space? We're just gonna fill it with color. Edit, fill, color. Sample from there. Okay, okay, boom, done. I'll take my last snapshot. All right, so at this point, we now have all of our snapshots. 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, you can open up your history if it's disappeared. So I've got my cat here. I've got this mask. I've got this mask, so on and so forth, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and save each of these snapshots. File, save a copy. And I'm gonna choose JPEG. And maybe I'll call this mask 1. You know what, I'm just gonna get rid of master. I'm gonna write number 1. I'm gonna go number 2 to my next snapshot. File, save a copy. Oh, go away. Maybe later. Ah, my computer's freezing. Oh no. Oh no, it's frozen. Anyway, you're gonna go through each of the snapshots and then you're going to save a copy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I think I'm good. Whoops, that went away. All right, so save file, save a copy. JPEG. Masking sampler, so this is number 2. Save. Okay. Number 3, file, save a copy. JPEG. Change this to number 3. And number 4. All right, and then that's what you're gonna turn in.